I always say it, Mike, we're live. Look, this morning, welcome to everybody. We're going to give people a few seconds to join us for the live. We should have had that music, Mike, that final countdown music. Do you want to hum it or sing it? It's the final.
Don't put me on the spot. You're always saying I put you on the spot, my word.
It's the final countdown. You know, we've got 14 days as of today, 2 weeks. The team in the head office of the APA is super excited. We've got lots of planning going on. And today, we've got a special guest join us today. I'm going to introduce her in a second. But before we introduce our guest, Mike, we've got just last week, I think was a great live. We had so many people on. We talked about, the agenda. We talked about who's coming along. I think we talked a little bit about the logistics side, but I wanted to really talk about the logistics as well today a little. Just talk to people about where the conference centre is, how to get there. Obviously, over the next couple of weeks, there are train strikes. Now, I've been informed by British Rail, the old British Rail, that they're not striking on our day. There isn't a train strike planned for our day. But again, we just want to go through, if you're catching the train, how to get to the Birmingham Conference Centre a little today. So, Mike, the Conference Centre itself, it's right at the back of Grand Central. What's the easiest way if people are coming on the train?
Yeah, exit the back doors. Big flight of steps. If you go at the front of the station, you'll be on, is that New Street or Corporation? New Street, or the bottom of New Street by the Burlington Hotel and the trams. You want to be the opposite side. So if you come in, depends where you're coming in from, but usually you come up the steps and turn right, and then you've got the big doors at the back, drops down loads of stairs, and then it's just straight across the road. We're going up. Is it next week? We're going to go up do some walkthrough videos. So for the benefit of everyone coming as delegates and visitors, we're going to do some captioned YouTube videos, which we shall post for you to see, almost like a walkthrough. We'll just walk the route for you so you can see as we see it. And also for the benefit of all of our partners and sponsors who need to know how to get into the back, we're going to do some walk rounds and we'll send all those links out. So as well as all the instructions that Carly and the ops team have sent everybody, you'll have some videos so you just know basically what you're doing.
Cool. And then car parking, there's loads of car parking. There's car parking attached to the conference centre. There's car parks dotted all around. And all I'd say is, it's a city centre. It's a large city centre. It's Birmingham city centre. So just allow, an extra 20 minutes, half an hour to get into the city, get parked up. I think, we start at roughly 9 o'clock-ish. The conference kicks off at 9:30. So if you can try and get into the city for about 8:30, and then it gives you plenty of time to go and get yourself settled in. We'll have plenty of cakes, coffees, bacon, butties, whatever are ready for you. But actually, it's not as busy as it once was. So plenty of car parking. If you're coming in by train, as Mike said, straight into Grand Central, back down the back of the steps. And also watch the videos that we'll record for you next week, which will give you an idea if you get lost. And then on top of that, the joining instructions, the email joining instructions, which you should have all had now. If you haven't and you're watching this, reach out to me personally, because I've gone over this many, many times. I've been reliably told everybody's had them, but if you haven't, please reach out to me, because on those joining instructions there will be videos, car parks, and all this good stuff, and we'll make sure that over this week and next you get the full joining instructions sent out. All right. So look, Mike, short intro from us today, because we've got a special guest. We've got the one and only, the Educator Extraordinaire. It is the wonderful Teresa. Good morning, Teresa.
Morning, Jamie. Morning, Mike. Well, that was a big intro, wasn't it? I don't know about the extraordinaire. But I am going to say the one thing with the conference to let people know, and I don't know if anyone's thought of it, but with the charging period for the part going into Birmingham, it's per day, not 24-hour period. So if they stay on the Tuesday night, they will have to pay for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
Because a lot of people think it's a 24-hour period. Sorry, that's just being my AP prep head.
You see, look, you heard it from an expert first. So if you are staying over, which I know there's quite a few actually staying over the night before, Mike just did an open invite, so apparently I'm paying all their bills. But as Teresa said, if you're staying over as congestion or clean air charges, be aware that it could be 2 days. Right. enough of that. Teresa, you've joined the wonderful world of the Accounts Payable Association. We've welcomed you in open arms. You've done an amazing job so far, and you will do for years to come. But for those, maybe that one person that doesn't know who you are, could you introduce yourself and give us some background to your story, please, Teresa?
Right, yeah. I'm really glad I'm part of the APA, because it's something that I wanted to do for probably the last 20 years and never had the guts to do it. So, yeah, thanks for the ability to get me doing something that I wanted to do. Not that I didn't like AP, because I loved AP. I've come from an AP background and worked my way up. So from literally data entry person to team leader to supervisor to finance manager to AP manager. So I've worked for quite a few big companies that people may have heard of. I don't know if people have heard of Compass Group, who do lots of catering events. So they do like all of the racing events. They do the catering in a lot of hospitals under the Select Service Partnership. They do police forces. And Compass used to own Little Chef and Travelodge, you know, the old Little Chef logo that everyone remembers, that for some reason they decided to slim him down on the signs. He was a chubby little man and then they slimmed him down. But yeah, I worked for Compass during their Little Chef and Travelodge reign. And I was seconded onto a project because of my experience and how I seem to pick things up quickly. I've always been told that I pick things up quite quickly, but I wasn't afraid to ask the questions. And I think that's the biggest thing in AP. If you're unsure, ask the question. And the more you learn about your business, the more doors it opens for you. So with Compass and Little Chef, I actually was seconded to the project, and then I was asked if I wanted to move over to Travelodge. So I set up the Travelodge accounts payable team from scratch. That was from interviewing. I mean, I wasn't an AP manager then, I was an AP supervisor. So I had to go through a full interview process of days at a golf course. Yeah, that was amazing. But interviewing people and trying to decide whether or not you want them in their team and you're just a supervisor, it's a big ask. But it worked. We had, you know, a lot of people apply and we did it. And I will say now that the person that took over my role when I left Travelodge is still there. And that was in 2008 that they took over the role. And this is just a point I'm going to make, that anyone could be trained up. It's about the person being a moldable person when you're picking people to work in AP. The person that's the supervisor at Travelodge is actually, his original job was a boat builder. So yeah, to have someone go from building boats using their hands to using their head and numbers. I suppose, yeah, numbers are involved in building boats as well because the accuracy. But
well, Teresa, I mean, again, maybe he was trying to keep your business afloat. Boom, boom.
Oh, goodness me, Jamie. I was expecting that from Mike, not you.
Teresa, what can I say? I mean, it's hope for me. If Jamie sacks me, I can get a job in AP. Awesome.
Yeah, but are you moldable, Mike?
Oh, highly. Totally flexible.
Right,
no,
okay.
I'm terrible. Totally unteachable. Anybody who works for me will tell you I do learn, but yeah, I'm a bit stubborn.
And you know what, Teresa, just as a side, my wonderful wife, Rachel, who you all know, she used to work for Travelodge back in the day, and she would have been there, I reckon, roughly around about the same time as you. So she was, because I don't shout enough about Rachel, but she was an award winner at Travelodge. She was one of their premium. She used to look after all the corporate accounts. So probably you may have paid her expenses. So if you think back and you think of, she wasn't Rachel Radford at the time, she was Rachel O'Connor. So if you think of anybody that was trying to dodge those expenses, that was my wife. But she was amazing. She was an award winner at that place. And she used to tell me how great a company it was to work at the Travelodge brand.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. But I've moved around. I've worked for a company called, I know someone will know it. I know Susan Homewood will know the company because I worked for Countrywide Farmers, who were competitors of Mole Valley Farmers. And a lot of the Countrywide staff now work at Mole Valley. So that's how I got to know Susan. But it's getting to know people out there as well. And that's another thing I will say. Speak to the 100 influencers. Try and get to know people. You'd be surprised at what you can pick up. I've also found out that because of my experience, because I'm a person that is willing to learn, I got made redundant 3 times in 2 years. That sounds really bad. And people say, well, how come? I got made redundant because I did a good job. I got my team, so the teams were working, and senior management thought they didn't need me. And there's probably a lot of people out there that would think the same thing, that senior management think they don't need AP managers, AP supervisors. In all 3 of those positions, I was asked to go back after about 3 months because they couldn't deal with everything, because I made it run so smoothly. Yes, I'm bigging myself up, but I know I've got a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and I know there's a lot of people out there that don't get the credit for it, and they don't sing their own song. Make your managers aware.
Do you know what, Teresa? I mean, years and years ago, I mean, when I was a lad, when we were still working under gaslight, I was given the same advice. Some advice a mentor of mine told me was always try and make yourself redundant. And what he meant by that was not to get a big payout, so you got lots in the bank, was to make your team and your department work so efficiently that if you were there or you weren't there, it would do the same thing. And I've lived my life around that, absolutely. And again, I think your point is that you built that department or those departments so well that what they didn't realize in the background, that you were still pivotal, but it was running very smooth and efficiently. And what usually happens is exactly what happened to you. Although on the face of it, it might be that they think they might want to make you redundant, but actually then you progress a lot faster through your career because they see the value in your strategic management leadership abilities. So it's great advice. I think it's one that I've lived my life to, and I've done okay. And I think that's the point, so it's brilliant bit of advice for this time in the morning. So bring us forward a little bit to more recently, so you were the leader of AIS. And you took that big leap of faith. So tell us a little bit about AIS, because they've been award winners with us as well. And tell us that leap. What did it make you feel? Was it a big step for you to move out of that comfort zone of AP, knowing what you're doing, leading a team, and then joining us, reprobates? And let the audience know a little bit about that for me.
Yeah, my life at AIS. Did I take the job? I wasn't sure. Actually, at interview, I didn't sell myself, and they almost didn't call me back for second interview. And that was because so many other interviews that I'd been to where I was just trying to change what I wanted to do, everyone was going, you want my job? You want my job? I said, no, I don't want your job. I just want to come in, do a job, make a difference, and make a team work well. So AIS nearly didn't call me back for second interview. What happened was they let the team pick. That I had to be interviewed by the team. So for me, it was important to try and get the team to like me. So I had to try and quickly in an interview find common ground with the team members and make them pick me over the other person. Fortunately, it worked. So yeah, AIS, there was lots of big changes to have. They were going through an automated process, which I'm sad to say I didn't see finish. I got all of the expenses on board and we got all of the expenses automated, the invoice processing. And it wasn't because of anything we didn't do. It was the business. And again, getting the business to buy into everything and show them that the automation isn't going to affect their day jobs. It's going to make their day jobs easier, which a lot of people fail to see. They fail to see that, automation is going to give them the extra hour and a half that they spend manually approving invoices. So, and I loved it. I loved my time at AP. In AIS, I recruited a completely new team. I had apprentices, so working with the apprentices and being mentor for them. I introduced a diverse team as well. I mean, I think it's still the same now, actually. there's not an English person in the AP team at AIS. I was the only English person. And that's not a racist comment or anything like that. That's just to show that everyone is moldable, and people from all walks of life, all races, religions, anything can be moldable to do whatever they want. You don't have to be completely having English as your first language. As long as you can get all of those processes understood and learn them and get your point across, English does not have to. A lot of people say, well, English isn't the first language, I'm not going to interview them. And I know a lot of people come across that as well. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You've got to be prepared to be diverse and go with the change.
Yeah, and look, Teresa, look, I'm not going to give away your secrets of how you got the job at AIS, but I had the pleasure of coming to visit you in the team and meeting everybody there.
Yeah.
It was cakes. Let's be honest. You just baked loads of cakes. As soon as I walked through the door, I was given lots of cakes. But no, joking aside, I met your team, and there were people from all over the world actually. So, but you're right. The processes that you built, the capability that you built, the leadership you gave them was one of the reasons why when you applied for the role at the APA, not only with your many years of experience, and I'm not going to sort of embarrass you to tell us how many years you've got, but it is more than one and less than 30. Or less
Put it this way, it's probably pushing 36 now.
There you go, 36. So you told him, not me. You don't look old enough, but you know what? That came across in not only in the processes that you built at AIS, but also when we did the interviews for the APA role. There was lots of people interested, and I think that's the thing. If we talk about the role that you've got now as the lead educator at the APA, you mentioned it's been a dream of yours for 20 years. We haven't been going for 20 years. So, you were probably sitting there going, I wonder if somebody's going to create an association that I can go and run an education team. But again, I think your point is that a lot of AP managers, they get to that point where they really want to express their feelings, their thoughts, their experience, and they want to go and help support, mold individuals, build teams, build people. And that's what you're doing now. So tell us about what you're up to. Tell us what your first 3 months with us has been like. Who have you met? What have you been up to? So tell us some of the secrets behind the scenes of some of the courses. Let the people know what it's like to work at the APA.
Well, the first thing I'll say is I'm not afraid of change, and working for the APA is a big change in culture to what I'm used to. And especially because my role is based at home and also going out to clients and customers to meet them and, share our wares, shall I say. But change, yeah, it's great. I love it. I love the job. My first month, I was thrown in the deep end and given the task of writing and updating the technician certificate, which, was a tall order considering I'd not done anything like that previously. But I felt I went straight into it and quickly got to grips with it. Asking other team members, I've had interaction with lots of people, Carly, Costas, everything, even Jamie, trying to get everything in place to upload it ready for people to start using. There's been a lot of testing, and it's surprising how much your grammar goes when you don't use it because you're using numbers all day. I'm now thinking, right, that's not English. You can't use that. So if anyone does find anything in the course that's a bit brummy, I apologise for that. But I know Jamie will accept it because he's a fellow brummy anyway.
Hey, listen, Teresa. Yes, my coming from I don't come from a private school, and I come from the West Midlands, and I'm proud of that. And yes, my grammar isn't the best, but you know what? Let's be honest. Our audience are like us. Wherever they're based in the world, in the country, they are down to earth. Backbones of every organisation. And you're right, if there's a few grammar issues or a few spelling issues, we will get picked up on it, no doubt. But the thing I would say is what you've brought to the APA, Teresa, is you brought that professionalism, you brought an up-to-date view, because obviously you're in the industry. You've literally just stepped out of an industry that you've been in for 30 plus years. The dynamics you've given us, the content is exceptional. I would say this clearly, but actually I went through the technician course last week pre-launch, and it is exceptional. No, I failed. But don't tell anybody. but I promise you it's exceptional. The content, the delivery, the way it's actually been brought about this year. So it's not just, it's not just content. It's about the delivery factor. There's videos in there. There's assessments. It's up to date. It's diverse as well, because you talk a little bit about working from home, all the things and the challenges we've been thrown at us for the last couple of years. You've included it. So from me, it's a huge thank you, because you've really taken our game to the next level, Teresa. So well done and congratulations on that. Now, look, time is a ticking. We keep these to 30 minutes. So we've got 10 minutes. Now, Teresa, you're joining us at the conference, and you're brave enough that to not only come along to the conference and stand in front of nearly 400 people, but you're running a panel for us. So tell me a little bit about the panel that you're running. And yeah, how do you feel about the conference? It's coming up very shortly, 2 weeks to go.
Conference is going to be really exciting. I'm actually looking forward to it, and I hope that we're on main stage. Because I've said to the panel that we're running that, yeah, I think we'll probably be on main stage, but who knows? I'm not going to go booted and suited without being on main stage. It's going to be a good one. It really is. We're doing about P2P and the marketing, but I'm not going to give away any secrets because it'll spoil the day. So, no. I'm looking forward to meeting some of the people that I've met previously, but in particular also Claire from Dunelm, because I think we had a good day at Dunelm last week. So it's just to let people know that not only do we do the conference and the education side, that we do go out to customers and do training there.
Yeah, look, Teresa, we had a wonderful day last week with Claire and the team. And again, you're right. I mean, Teresa is now, because she's part of the team, you're going out all the time talking to our customers. We do on-site delivery of courses. And what was amazing was Dunelm, obviously everybody knows who Dunelm are, and by the way, they have the most brilliant sofas, and in their areas, they've got brilliant sofas. It looked really good. So they definitely do some soft furnishings, I'm guessing. We're not plugging Dunelm, but what was amazing was they have a stock and a non-stock team. And it was interesting to listen and hear the dynamics between the two teams. One was a bit more automated than the other team, but actually what came across between both of them was that team spirit. Doesn't matter which team you worked in, everybody had one goal, one common denominator, which was we want to be the best. And they'd employed the services of the APA. They became members of ours because they wanted to learn and be educated. And again, we had the pleasure of going through the course with them. And there was so much knowledge in the room. They learnt loads. We had a load of fun. Again, they brought some brilliant cakes. It's, every time we go out, we just get fed. But it was just lovely. It was lovely.
Cakes.
Yeah. Well, you weren't there in the morning. See, you were 5 minutes later. That's where I got my carb intake. But it was amazing. It was lovely to see Claire and the team. And we do that all the time. We've got the team at Breeden coming up very shortly. So we've got lots of face-to-face going out there and educating. So again, if you're listening to this live or on demand, if you think that there's some content that you think might be of interest, so if it's not a standard course that we do, we have the wonderful Teresa now. So, not only is she an expert in all things expensive VAT and all of things accounts payable, but it's everything. It could be anything you wish to learn about. And remember also, we're blessed with a bigger team here at the headquarters. And we talk about things like, the new IR35 that's been abolished effectively. What does that mean? We have a team now of experts that can talk those through. So, right, okay, let's get back to conference. So you're not giving us anywhere secrets. How dare you? I was hoping Mike normally drops me in with the secret. So you've got to be in it to win it, as they say, Teresa. So you've got to go to Teresa's panel. Now, your panel is one of 2 workshops we're running. So that's an interactive workshop. Last week, we went through the agenda. Mike, just give us a flavour from a partner perspective of anything that you want to give us an update from today.
Really, all the work's been done. So Carly, Paige, been working very hard with all of our partners and sponsors. We've got a very exciting lineup. So obviously Teresa's running one panel. We've got another panel looking at, it's on the agenda. Go to the website under the conference agenda. You'll see the lineup. And that's a workshop looking at, we're calling it Mind the Gap. It's bridging the gap between the C-suite or the finance, central finance function and transactional finance team. So, again, don't want to spoil the day, but we've got a very broad panel unpacking some of that as well. But yeah, no, partners, a big thank you. Obviously, dotting I's, crossing T's, everything's nearly done now. We've got always a bit of a last minute scramble, but yeah, really happy, looking forward to it. And we've got a video. Jamie, play the video.
Look, before I do the video, thank you for the prompt, because I always forget. You know what I'm used to. When you get to my age, you forget your name, let alone videos. Look, this week was, well, last Friday was, myself and Mike did a live last week, and it had its desired effect. We went out to the audience, Teresa, and we said, look, it's your last minute. You got to get those award nominations in. And, you know, I was absolutely amazed at the amount of award nominations we've had. And I'll tell you the reason why I look so tired is because myself and the team had to trawl through them and actually put them into all the categories to go out to the panel of judges. So let me just quickly explain that before I play the video. So this year we have a panel of expert judges who are going to be going through every category, putting their nominations together. So there will be 5 finalists per category. So by the end of this week, if you're a finalist, you'll get notified. There will be a winner for every category, and there'll be 2 runners-up. Now, what does that mean? That means that everybody hopefully gets the feeling that they're involved in the awards themselves. If you don't get a finalist, don't be disheartened. It's taking part. We will make sure that everybody that's nominated gets a mention of some sort. So there's 5 finalists, 1 winner, 2 runners-up, which is a lot to do on the day. So we've got a lot of planning, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Let me just give you a big shout out to all the judges. So I am delighted to have Karen Young, who's just exceptional. We all know Karen. Karen's agreed to be a judge this year. So Karen's our first one. Scott Brown, who's head of shared service transactional services at Halfords. Scott's going to be joining the panel this year as well. The one and only Michael Ryan, he's joining because I wanted as many independent people to join the panel. So everybody knows Michael. He's coming back this year, by the way. He's our MC extraordinaire. He will be joining the expert judging panel. My compadre, Neil Hollister, who's the CEO of the Payroll Centre, he will keep us all on track, I promise you. He's very much on track. He's going to be on the judging panel. Gen CFO's lead, Chris Argent, is on the panel as well, and little old me. So I'm going to be on the panel. So there's 6 judges for this year. Sounds like the X Factor. I'm the Louis Walsh of the panel. I'll be jumping around. I'm not Irish, but I'll put some humour to it. We'll go through those this week. By the end of early next week, not only will the finalists be announced, but actually we'll have a really good shape in terms of the awards. So firstly, a huge thank you to everybody that nominated. I promise you, it is phenomenal, the amount of people, organisations. And you know what? The biggest thing for me, and I'll share these post-conference because, I don't want to sort of put it ahead, but I'll share some of the words that came in terms of people's recommendations. The words were so touching, and the amount of hard work. And, you could just put a one-liner, my team's the best. That's why I should win it. They don't do that. They go into real detail of what their team have done, or their individuals or their rising star. Phenomenal. Thank you so much for that. Now, before I forget, I am going to play a little video. Now, this is giving you a taster of what's to come. This is our 2019 conference. It's a little bit minute long, so please bear with us. We'll jump on it after this, but listen to the words, listen to the song, and listen to the feeling and the atmosphere of this. I've got hair standing up here, so I cannot wait for 2022 conference. Teresa, I think you were on the video. Mike,
I
you were
saw myself a couple of times
in there. Mike, I saw you dotting around in the background. Look, we've got people coming this year who were in 2019. We've got the wonderful Brad. Mary's coming along again, Karen, but we've got lots of new faces this year. And the other thing is, and you know now, Teresa, you joined the APA. We have a wonderful community. We have a wonderful community of members. Near enough all our members are being, joining us on the day. It will be phenomenal. That room you saw, which was absolutely rammed out, it's going to be even busier. I don't know. We'll have to get cozy. Let's put it that way. So there's going to be an absolute full room of people. But I don't know, every time I watch that video, it reminds me of 2019. We need to blow the socks off. We need to give a better feeling, vibe, whatever it is for 2022. We're having a lot more people, a lot more content, a lot more experts. But the whole thing for us, educate, inform yourself, go and network and get involved in the community. But, overridingly, have a little bit of fun. Teresa, before we finish today, any final words?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to see who's got that coveted title, APA Manager of the Year. I'm sad to say that the Accounts Payable Association have taken it away from me because I only got to runner-up. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
You can't leave us just to go and get a manager course and try to come back. But you're right. Yeah, it would be unfair for us to leave you into the nomination. But you're right. We've got 10 categories. We have manager of the year, team of the year, and all that good stuff. But every award, I promise you, is phenomenal with the amount of people and companies coming into it. Mike, any last words from you? You've been very quiet this time, but we couldn't get a word in edgeways. My apologies. Anything from you, bud?
No, just Teresa, welcome. It's so good to have you. Your passion, experience. We're learning. I'm learning, and I look forward to what we've got planned in terms of partner training, member training. We're expanding all our courses. We're going to have to run hard just to keep up with you, basically. But
you've got no chance, Mike, because you've told me that you're moldable.
Well, I do like to learn, but in terms of the event. So excited. We're going to be there the night before. Anyone coming up, stopping, it doesn't matter whether you're in the hotel on site or another hotel, we'll be around. A lot of the partners will be setting up the night before, so there'll be loads of networking. Just come, we'll relax. Jamie's buying the drinks anyway, so it's all good.
Look, we've gone over slightly, but you know what? Who cares? It is just going to be phenomenal. We will do our last live next week, which is our final rundown of what's going on in the day. Yeah, come along. You'll get to meet Mike, Teresa, myself. It's just going to be an absolute amazing day. 12th of October at the Birmingham Conference and Event Centre in the centre of Birmingham. If you want to be involved in that video, the 2019, for this year, the 2022, you've got to be there on the day. So if you've already got your tickets, make sure you come along. No excuses. If you haven't got your ticket, look, you can always reach out to our team. We sold out weeks ago, if I'm brutally honest, but we always have some reserves. I have no clue. The team don't tell me anymore. They tell me every time I open my mouth, we have an influx of whatever. We just got to get you in that room if you possibly can. It will be absolutely amazing. And next week, we're probably going to have a couple of live guests with us. We may have a couple of special guests that join us on the last live session. People that, Mike, you and I are not going to get a word in edgeways next week. We've tried today. We've had the wonderful Teresa with us today, who's blown our socks off. Thank you so much. Next week, we'll have no chance. But anyway, look, Teresa, Mike, thank you for this morning. Thank you everybody for listening and tuning in. And we will see you next week ahead of the 1 week countdown. Thanks all.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.